everybody, this is Michael with Asymmetrical Preparedness. This video is called Get Out of the Cities. We've talked about this in the past, but why? Why should I get out of the city? Man, I mean, there are so many reasons. From a preparedness aspect, you guys all know the more rural you are, the better off you'll be. The less threats you'll have, the closer you are to areas that have chances of growing your own calories and or finding your own calories, meeting your own caloric needs. That's one of the simple things to talk about, especially the threats. More people, more threats, plain and simple. More gang activity, more just all the kinds of bad things that could possibly happen. The more urban you are. Some of the other things are just meeting your needs. You know, I mean, can your needs be met when everybody is trying to feed their families? How quickly will urban areas run out of food? Very quickly. Because how many people just pick up groceries every single day on their way home that have nothing in a pantry, nothing in their fridge, except for a couple things? Most Americans, I mean, and I'm not spouting off statistics or anything like that. I'm not a statistician or in the know per se, but I would say the average American household has less than 2 days of food in their homes. Maybe 3 days. I seriously doubt that. I'd say like a day, maybe. And it depends on what area of the country you're talking about also. But as far as cities, I mean, cities are kind of the same kind of people live in cities, no matter where that city, whether it's Seattle or Dallas or, Chicago or I don't know. I mean, there are differences, but you guys understand what I'm saying. Cities pose so many different threats, and your ability to get out of them once something goes down can be severely limited. Roads choked with dead vehicles, if there's an EMP, there's just so many things to think about. And or everybody dealing with the crowds of people trying to get out. So, I mean, you can stay and try to outweigh the golden horde leaving, but are you ready for that? Can you stay put? Can you provide enough security to last that period of time? Proper security? And then, the longer you wait also, the longer the criminal element and the bad guys basically get set in their positions, and the more control they have over the areas. So you might want to think about getting out sooner rather than later. I would suggest trying to move out of the cities as soon as possible now, before SHTF or anything happens. And that's where I kind of wanted to talk about why. For example, I'm talking, say I live in the city. I live in the city, I got a high-paying job that's really good. I got a family, I got a wife, say a couple kids. Maybe my wife works, she makes a bunch of money. But we also pay enormous amounts in rent, vehicle costs, because we have new vehicles, etc. Just everything, day-to-day life costs so much more. If you move to a rural area, you may make less money. You'll probably make a lot less money, but you'll also spend a lot less money. And this is another thing I'm getting at. Life that is worth living is worth enjoying, and enjoying time with your family. This is me personally, everybody's different, but I would much rather work 40 hours a week or less and have all the other time, my family time, off. My family time is my family time. That's precious to me. I hardly ever do overtime. My workplace, my supervisor, stuff like that, they know that I'm always willing to support the team. I'm always willing to work if I have to. If the need is there, I will support. But I will never volunteer for overtime because my family is precious to me. Every second I get to spend with them. And I always do my best, absolute best, to honor the Sabbath, which means not working on the Sabbath. And I probably take a lot more hardcore view of the Sabbath than a lot of people, but that's okay. That's the way I choose to take it. So anyway, quality of life, a life worth living. I mean, instead of waking up on a Saturday morning and hearing all these sirens in the background and people run around, vehicles just clogging the streets and breathing the smog-filled, nasty air of a big city. Can you imagine walking out on your porch or front yard in a beautiful, just sunny morning and just smelling the fresh air of rural living? And just have that overwhelming sense of calmness that comes over to you by being able to walk on real dirt, grass, Mother Nature, Mother Earth. And I'm not saying it's quiet, because if you live on a homestead, homesteads are loud. All your animals are making noises and stuff like that. But it's amazing. I would much rather wake up to those noises than honking of horns and sirens and all the other, just, to me, noises I can't stand that come associated with the city. So think about what you want out of life. You may want a high-paying job, at least for a period of time. Maybe you're doing a really good job saving money for your retirement, an early retirement, where you can spend the rest of your life with your family, retired. That's what I'm shooting for. I'm shooting to be fully retired as soon as possible. And I'm not saying I won't work. I'll be working way harder and probably way more retired, because I'll be working my homestead. I don't know. Just want you guys to think about what makes you happy, the true value of life. Is it waking up, 20, 30 years from now as an old person, or 40 years, whatever it is, as an older person, and looking back going, oh my gosh, I miss all my children's childhood. Where are they? They're gone. And I don't even remember what we did together. But I worked all those hours. I made a bunch of money. We got a bunch of money sitting in the bank, which, that's good. Of course, that's good. Not knocking that. But, you wake up, you finally get retired, and you wake up next to a woman or a man that you don't even know, because you were always at work. I'm not trying to be doom and gloom to you guys. I understand. We got to do what we got to do. We got to work. We got to support our families. We got to do the things. But it's just something to think about. Maybe think about moving somewhere rural sooner rather than later. There's basically, the way I look at it, and I may be oversimplifying things, there's two ways to be retired. Have a ton of money saved, invested, whatever, to be able to maintain the same quality of life you're living now, to meet all your needs and all your wants, basically, at your current income level and at your current standard of living. Or, number two, lower your standard of living. Do you really need a big, huge house, fancy new cars, fancy watches, fancy clothes, all this stuff like that? Or would you be happier with, 10, 15, 20-year-old vehicle, a decent house, and just normal average clothes or thrift store clothes, where you can save all that money? You'd be spending so much less money, and you could be retired, and you could be working the farm, working your homestead with your family, with your kids, teaching them hands-on in nature. Tell you what, man, that's the life. And this is all my personal opinion, of course. You guys know that. But get out of the cities. For an SHTF scenario, you'll be way better off. The more rural you can get, the lower population density area you can get, the better. That may be to a point. You don't want to. I wouldn't move way back. Take a plane out in the middle of the nowhere, like tundra, Alaska, where there isn't a single person within hundreds of miles of you. That's not what I'm talking about. Because you still need your mag, your team, your tribe, your people to be able to work together and have that homestead, that commune, whatever you call it, bug out location. But once you're there, it's no longer a bug out location. Remember that also. Once you're there, it's your home. So you need to have other bug out locations set up. But we've talked about that. It's a totally different video. I guess I really just want to encourage you guys to think about that. Sit down with your spouse, with your family, with the people you care about, and talk. Have a talk about moving. Do some investigation. Look into it. Look at the price of land in some of the more rural areas. The more, for me, the more Second Amendment friendly states. Because my state is Washington, and they're going full on communist. I'm getting really sick of it here now. It's a beautiful state, a lot to offer, long growing season, all kinds of things positive. Mountains galore, trees galore, beautiful, beautiful place. But man, it is being destroyed by liberal politics. And it's just disgusting to me. That's a completely other topic also. But, have a frank talk with your family members. Do some research. At least plant the seed. Maybe your spouse or whoever it is that you care about, your significant other, your whoever, loves the idea. And maybe you can roll with it. And maybe you can make it happen really soon. You never know. You'd be surprised. You may be surprised. You never know until you ask, till you talk, till you do the research. What kind of jobs are in the area? What can I do? Can I work from home? Doing the same job I am now, maybe, even for the same company. I don't know what the options are. What about internet-based businesses? What about, farm-based businesses? I mean, there's so many different opportunities out there. What are your skill sets? What else can you do other than what you do now? If your job doesn't equate to rural living, what can your spouse do? These are just ideas. I really want to empower you guys to think, and for us all to be happy and happier, to thrive in an SHTF scenario. And I live fairly rural, so I could stay where I'm at, but my goal is still to get onto our own homestead. I'm not calling where I am now a homestead. Yeah, we got some land and stuff like that, big enough, we can have gardens and all this stuff, but it's not what I envision, especially in this state. I want to get the heck out of this state. But and it may or may not be off grid depending on the situation and where we are and stuff. It doesn't have to be off grid necessarily to me. I would like to have a off grid system, the capability of doing so as a backup for SHTF scenario if the grid goes down, whatever. But yeah, I just want to encourage you guys, prep a little every day. This could be one of your preps for the day. Sit down with your family and talk about this maybe. Or spend some time looking up properties, job opportunities, different things in different areas. See what's appealing to you. Or have you talked about this in the past? Maybe bring it back up. Maybe it's time to do some more research. I don't know. I just want you guys to do this so that, we're continually prepping out of peace of mind, not out of fear, like I always say. And, yeah, I hope I'm getting through. I'm hoping this is meaningful to some people. I love you guys. Please subscribe, hit the like button, comment below, and check us out on Patreon. Doing great things there. Loving it. Or the Amazon store. A lot of good products there. I haven't added any in a while, but I don't really add at a very high pace there because I want to only put quality products there that I know and I trust. that I use or have used or own or have owned. So, yeah, keep doing the things. And remember, fitness is key. I love you guys, and blessings to you and yours.